the batsman is the left-hander Alan Turner.
And that's LBW, and John Snow's got the breakthrough, and Bill Ali in action again. Up goes the finger, and Turner is out. LBW to Snow for 9. The first wicket to the Sussex pace bowler. The Australian score on 21 for 1. So yet again, Bill Ali called into action to uphold an appeal here, and once again that looking as though it would have knocked all 3 out of the ground.
Good catch by Alan Knott, the breakthrough so desperately wanted by John Snow and Tony Greig, and look at the England team now rushing to congratulate Snow. A great spell of bowling. 2 wickets down for 29, the man out, Ian Chappell. John Snow from the nursery end, bowling to Greg Chappell. Well, that's a good shot. Wasn't a particularly good delivery. John Snow trying to bounce that one at Chappell, but it didn't get up any more than bail height. That's well bowled too. And he's getting him out, LBW. John Snow, his 3rd wicket. Australia 37 for 3. And no wonder England looked delighted. 7 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 20, John Snow, and Greg Chappell is out leg before wicket for 4.
That's a fine shot. Really was a glorious square cut by Ross Edwards. Just about 2 seconds, I think, to hit those ropes on the offside. Tremendous amount of power, beautifully timed. It's a good shot. Good length ball that, and it's running away very quickly from Underwood. Very fast outfield, particularly down towards the Tavenham Mounts down there.
Beautifully played through into the extra cover direction for 4 runs. I think we might well see one of the slips coming out. There are 4 there at the moment and a gully. And he's out! And he's caught and bowled by Peter Lever, hitting a little too soon. Oh, goodness me, that was a surprise. He hit too soon at that one. He may have held it back just slightly. So Peter Lever's first wicket, caught and bowled now. McCosker is out. 54 for 4 now, Australia.
See that again. Good, sharp caught and bowl accepted there by Peter Lever. I think it was interesting too, Dennis, that the ball before that he cracked through the covers before, in fact, wasn't a half volley. He hit it there on the up, and that one a good length ball too. It's difficult to account how these wickets have gone down. There's been very little movement, just good, sustained, accurate pace bowling. He stays there, and Doug Walters has gone again, and my word, that went quickly. Walters really throwing the bat. Tremendous catch there by Greig. And yet another failure in this country for the unfortunate Doug Walters. 56 for 5. Who would have believed that when play started here this morning? On a wicket playing well and true, and Walters out for 2. Caught Greig, bowl Lever.
Yes, what an incredible morning for England here. As Jim said, it's such a marvellous batting wicket, and here are the Australians, 56 for 5. And here you see the dismissal of Doug Walters, driving at a ball outside the off stump. And there you see Greggy in the picture there, taking a fine catch at first slip. And look at the joy on everybody's face.
And that was the end of Peter Lever's 6th over. Putting a big hand down at long leg, the crowd on their feet to him. Great scenes of enthusiasm here as Lever takes his position in front of him. 2 for 26 now. So Tony Greig can have a little crack here before lunch, just about 10 minutes. Get a couple of overs in, taking over from Bob Woolmer. He's got that short, and Edwards again. No doubt a hesitation at all about that. Beautifully put away through the offside. Tony Greig clapping, asking, yes, he's given him out. He waited for a minute, and Marsh has gone, and Tony Greig has struck again. And Rod Marsh not looking terribly happy about it. But as soon as the ball flew into the fieldsman's hands, Tony Greig was up. So Ross Edwards going to join him as that's lunch, but let's see again. Well, I think that's open to a little bit of discussion later on, whether in fact he did get a touch on that.
That's the square cut, which he plays so well. "64 for 6 was the astounding score at lunch on a good wicket. And here is Tony Greig really applying the pressure. 3 short legs, silly point and a slip. And the batsman is Max Walker, who's made a single. Max Walker going for the big one and achieving it. Nice stroke off the back foot. My word, this outfield is fast. Derek Underwood picking that up just short of the boundary. They've got 3. And with that stroke, Ross Edwards, says Irving Rosenwater, our scorer, has reached 1,000 runs in Test cricket. All scored in the last 3 years since he made his first Test appearance on the last tour of England in '72.
Snow. Again now to bowl to Max Walker. 4 steps in the gully there. Still a very attacking field. Ball in. 7 for 81. Walker out. Bowl Snow for 5. A good delivery that from John Snow. Walker may just have got an inside edge to it. But what a breakthrough again for John Snow. His 4th wicket of the innings. Tremendous performance. Tony Greig is the bowler, and he's bowling in his slower off-spin variety. That will probably be 4 runs. A very fine little edge. David Steele. Edwards must have hit it very, very hard because it got Steele on the way through and still went for 4 down to fine leg. It's a good looking shot from Edwards. 4 runs, no chance of cutting that off. The outfield on that side is not quite as fast. The ball's going up the slope instead of down. That was a fine shot. 10 runs from this over so far, and the total has gone on to 99. Edwards to 37. comes up. Edwards goes on to 41. That's a good attacking approach there from Ross Edwards. 14 from that over, and that might well see the removal of Tony Greig. Good shot. Perhaps he didn't time it quite as he'd have liked, but it's still racing across the boundary. The extra cover man, Peter Lever, had no chance at all cutting that off. Takes Ross Edwards now on to 47. Takes the total to 111 for 7. 116 needed to avoid the follow-on. 3 wickets in hand. Thompson has made 8.
Peter Lever to Jeff Thompson. Thompson by nature a pretty ferocious hitter of a cricket ball, but playing his part well here in a very subdued fashion. Lever fairly hurrying in now. No ball. Follow-on saved, 116 now for 7.
And it's going to be Peter Lever from the nursery end bowling to Ross Edwards. 1 for his 50. And there it is. And it's gone down to third man for just the 2 runs. So a very, very magnificent half-century to Ross Edwards, and made at such a crucial time for Australia.
Did well to take a little bit of the sting out of that. It was very powerfully struck by Thompson. No problem there in running 4. A fiercely hit drive there by Thompson, just flicking Peter Lever's fingers on its way through. A quicker ball there, beating the attempted onside push by Edwards. It's a leg by. Hard chance there to Graham Gooch. Life for Jeff Thompson. There's a thick edge flying away to Gooch's left. So not only a miscatch, but the batsman scrambling through for a single, and he's certainly hurt his finger there. A bit of blood coming off. He's cut the finger. Well, goes down in the book as a chance. A difficult one, away to his left, almost bisecting Gooch at second slip and Greig at first slip. England 12th man, first time he's been out on the field. But of course, from delivering the refreshments, Chris Holt. That's 4 runs from the moment it left the bat. Onto that very quickly, forced away on the offside. So Ross Edwards moving now to 56, leading this Australian recovery. And he's bowled in, and this 50 partnership broken. Underwood strikes his first wicket. Jeff Thompson, a little cross to himself there, hitting across, another perfectly straight ball. And he's clean bowled for 17. First wicket to Derek Underwood. And there, a perfectly straight ball. And see the bat going across the line. So 133 for 8 at the fall of Jeff Thompson's wicket. So Dennis Lillee crowded here by the extra 2 close catches, slip, silly point, short leg. Well forward to smother that one.
Dennis Lillee has an extremely low grip of the bat. That bottom hand is right down pressing against the blade. That's a good hit, a big hit, right over into the crowd. First 6 of the match. A good blow from Dennis Lillee. A good shot. My word, that was a good stroke from Ross Edwards. He gave himself a little bit of room there and split those 2 men, Dennis Amiss and Derek Underwood. That was a beautiful shot.
Snow to Edwards. There's the one if they wanted it, but Edwards going to retain the strike. It's going through for 4. Occasion though when they could have done with the extra slip. Another glorious square cut by Edwards. It's a shot brought him so many runs. It's the way to go through the 90s. Moves on then to 95. Snow again the sufferer there. And that ball only fractionally short. Perfectly timed. This now, the best partnership of the innings. They've put on 60 runs. And that's going through for 4 more. Good, lusty, hearty swing by Dennis Lillee, and Snow suffering then in this over. But the focus now on Ross Edwards. A ring of fielders to try and prevent the single, put on a little bit of pressure. Only 1 slip, another 5 men able to save 1. And he's out LBW. Oh dear, what a disaster for Ross Edwards. He can really never have played a better innings for his country than this. Immense disappointment to him. But he's held the fort there for 201 minutes. He's never looked in any bother at all until his score was on 99. So 15 boundaries, all gloriously struck. And this big crowd in full appreciation of certainly an innings that Ross Edwards will always remember. So it's Edwards out. It's the first wicket in Test match cricket. Flicking the pad, shouting for LBW. And the umpire's finger going up.
It's a splendid stroke off the back foot. Stroke of a real batsman. That's a splendid shot. Picked that up off his toes and clipped it away in the air. It landed some 20 yards in from the boundary. And that's an even better one. What a Great shot from Dennis Lillee. Magnificent six, hooked away, over square leg. A really great stroke. What a great shot again to give him his 50. Lever's being severely dealt with out there. He had 8 taken from his first over of this spell. And now Dennis Lillee has assaulted him again in this over and has moved to his own half-century. Round the wicket, Lever. Another classy stroke, and John Snow's not going to be able to cut it off. So Lillee goes to 56. With 4 runs. So now taking advantage of very loose delivery there.
A very strange looking card. Edwards on 99, and the resistance coming from Thompson in the first place, and now of course by Lillee and Mullet. And that swung high into the crowd. It's a big 6 by Dennis Lillee. And what a day he's having. That big 6 over mid-wicket, taking him into the 70s on 72 now. His third 6, and the score going on to 263. That's 4 more. Swung away, Mullet not even bothering to run. Sweet shot played from round about leg middle stump. Well, an interesting change here. David Steele coming on to bowl. Slipping out of his hands there. Steele has done it. In his first over, broken up this very stubborn last wicket partnership. And Tony Greig absolutely delighted there.
So 268 all out, with Ross Edwards playing probably the innings of his life for 99 in the middle of the Australian order. Ernie McCosker of the early batsmen reached double figures, and then 3 good half-century partnerships between Edwards and Thompson, Edwards and Lillee, and then Lillee and Mullet. Well, at the close of play, England